Wow, thank you, Stan. We appreciate that. That was very educational. Thanks for sharing your time and your work with us. Like Stan, I too have a great Indian name. My name's Ross Chaney. So good afternoon. Thank you for coming out today. Appreciate seeing some familiar faces and some new ones. So today what I wanted to do is, the time that we have, wanted to review about 9 years of my artwork in about 10 minutes, and I believe that's possible. So let's go ahead and get started. So starting circa 2004, you'll see a sketchbook on the page, sketchbook page on the screen. You don't have to try and read the work. I'll do that for you today, so don't worry about trying to squint your eyes, please. So what I'm trying to demonstrate here is my process. I prefer to have many sketchbooks around me and work in all of them simultaneously. This particular writing was made after a meeting with a friend at a local restaurant called the Rio Chama in Santa Fe. My friend, a Mescalero Apache tribal member, had just returned from a trip to Australia and to Europe, and I was compelled to write this after our discussion in our meeting at the restaurant. And so what it says is, told stories of Alice Springs, the French Riviera, and Monaco. My brother gets far from home, but returns to us and only tells me all the stories. Peace, brother, make your offerings. You have many more miles and plains to ride. Visions of global natives that don't hate themselves. Now, as you can hear, my art is very personal, and when I made the conscious decision to spend more time making it again, I never intended it to be seen or bought. And this allowed me the freedom to express myself and be taken by my art to forgotten, unknown, and subconscious streams. The next image is from 2005 writing I did in preparation for an installation in Santa Fe to recognize the 60th anniversary of the dropping of the atomic bomb in Japan. And as we know, Santa Fe is downstream from Los Alamos, the birthplace of the atomic bomb. And this particular issue is important to me. I spent time in Japan and actually visited Hiroshima a couple of times, and went with the delegation to the island of Iwo Jima to honor the fallen soldiers of America and Japan back in the 50th anniversary. So it reads, a generation of lady warriors. If they return home, what choices will they make? How will they raise their children? Will their bodies be contaminated? Will they drink as their grandfathers who fought before? Will they send their daughters to fight the next war? Pursue justice. The poem never became an installation, but I did turn the concept into a short 7-minute film in 2006. This is a still photograph of one of the sets of the film that I made. I didn't take the photograph. And the film's called Tracing Paper and is based on the poem about women warriors that I just read. This scene is depicting a memory of an older woman when she was 17 on the day she decided to join the United States military. I developed and created several graffiti marks, as you can see in the background of this photograph, on the refrigerators, and wrote and directed the film. Some of you may recognize this location. It used to be near the dog park in Santa Fe, and it was known as Stone Fridge or Fridge Henge, but it's no longer there. The city decided to take it down. The winds over on top of that hill were blowing down these refrigerators, and it's making it unsafe. So that was one of the reasons why they dismantled it. So I kind of captured that in our recent history of Santa Fe. This photo, the same photo in 2010, was considered by the United Nations Chronicle to be published in an issue concerning Native Americans. The Hindu editor at the United Nations censored it because, quote, it was too sexual, unquote. The image, yeah, that's what they told me. So the image depicts the goddess, the Hindu goddess Kali, the goddess of time and death, sitting on her husband, the white figure below, Shiva or Kala. This is from 2009. It's an ink. This is from 2006. It's Japanese ink on paper, and it says, move, you're standing still. This is images from 2009. It's ink and oil pastel on paper. It's 11 by 14 size inches. And this was the exact piece that informed me that it was time, or it was possible, to release my work into the public and share it with you all today, or in other venues and in shows with other artists. This piece is from 2010. It's an 18-inch by 24-inch work on paper. It's different types of Japanese ink, and there's no oil pastel in this piece. So it's a freehand drawing I did, and it's my version of an actual Vogue high fashion photograph. So I get a lot of, my work is informed by a lot of different things: fashion, film, other artists that I work with, visit and see, and of course the people that I meet in my life. So this particular piece, the words say, "She makes America cry," and asks, "What's your number?" This 18-inch by 24-inch ink and acrylic paint on paper was developed for a group show in 2010 in Santa Fe regarding the U.S. history of the Federal Bureau of Investigations and Native America. And it's now in the Lloyd Kiva New Gallery just outside the doors here. And I wanted to say a big thank you to our local Cherokee artists, Sally Ann Pascal and America Meredith. America co-curated the show in Santa Fe, and Sally Ann let me use her studio to make the monotype that's next to this image displayed in the gallery outside. And so the monotype that you saw in the very first slide of this presentation is called Wanted You. It's currently, and what the idea is it's combining the notion of the FBI wanted poster and Uncle Sam recruitment poster. But the theme of the actual FBI show that I was trying to get folks to talk about or think about was how social media is being used by our government agencies to monitor U.S. citizens for the purpose of monitoring criminal activity. Right? It's become ubiquitous now, Facebook and all these social media things, and some of it's good and some of it's bad. But I'm not making a judgment call. I'm just bringing up the conversation. One of the things you'll know if you really look at the detail in the painting is this number 198198. And through friends of mine working on Indian law issues like Stan does, I had some friends who work with the Department of Justice, the Bureau of the FBI, and they were able to let me know that this is the actual code used today for crimes committed on tribal land. And most of them are major crimes that the FBI investigates on tribal land. They have jurisdiction. Some people may not know that. When a murder is committed on tribal land, it's not the state or it's not the county or the city cops, it's actually the Federal Bureau of Investigations that goes in and checks out, investigates murders. And they will code it by 198A, B, C, D for the different types of crimes. If you look even closer on the woman's forehead, underneath her hair, what I've depicted there in ink is a whirling log. And what I'm trying to say here is let's take back our symbols for today's healing, right? Because we know this is synonymous with something that was evil many decades ago. Now, since this FBI show in 2010, I was fortunate enough to receive a Harpo Foundation fellowship to attend a 1-month residency for painting. And we were at the Vermont Studio Center in Johnson, Vermont last October, and this is a photograph of me in the studio in Vermont. This is a 6-foot by 6-foot acrylic painting on canvas. It's one of the largest pieces I've done, and it was really fantastic to have the time and space to really work on something this large. The other great thing about the residency was I was with 50 other artists from around the world, and individually we were focused on writing, painting, installation, and photography. This next slide is more work that I did in Johnson, and it's work on paper using Japanese sumi ink, and the color is from oil stick and oil pastel. So, and just to wrap up this presentation, I wanted to quickly highlight 3 Navajo artists. There are a lot of young and upcoming Native American artists in the scene living in Santa Fe and other parts of the United States, but I just quickly wanted to mention 3 Navajo artists that are either living in Santa Fe or are frequently here for different shows. One is contemporary Navajo weaver Melissa Cody, and as you can see, she's using the whirling log of the Navajo people. She uses that a lot in her work. And she's currently touring America, and recently was at the New Orleans Jazz Festival last week demonstrating her work. The next artist is a local artist named David Sloan. He's a contemporary artist who is an instructor at Warehouse 21, which provides youth services and a place for music, art, video. It's a great place. If you haven't been, please check it out. He works in painting, obviously, silkscreen, and jewelry. And then the last artist is Razelle Benally. She's a filmmaker, a student at the IAI campus here in Santa Fe. And recently, she and I were both received fellowships from the Sundance Institute to develop a short film this year. And so Razelle will direct the film, and it's about two young sisters living on the San Carlos Apache Reservation. So with that, I appreciate your time, and thank you for coming out.